So one of my favorite things is a pepper plant. I ran into my daughter in the stairway and I asked her if she needed a pepper. And nope, I don't need pepper either. I've been processing a lot of peppers and using them that way as I process them. So for now, this pepper plant gets to remain untouched and beautiful. A pepper fell and I took that one in the house, but I just don't need peppers right now. Rick hung my plant lights for me. The temperatures are dropping into the 30s this coming weekend. Today's Tuesday. I think Friday, Saturday, bottom drops out. Taking down the giant trough. So all the things in this trough were wintered in the house. I've already taken out some smaller cannas and potted them up. So these will be wintered differently. I'm going to dig them up, cut the tops off, and put the roots in a bag. I'm using what I have, so I'm going to plant my trees in there. I have 2. I think they'll look good there. And these pots did kind of get in the way this year. Don't need them. You can empty them. I want to keep this one going because it adds structure to the area. That is one big heavy piece. It was easier just to take it out in one big chunk. Same with that one, it was easier to take it out in just one big chunk. But I can't carry it. It's too heavy. Boy, that was so hard to get that out of the wheelbarrow into the bucket. It's a little crooked, so I can straighten it up some. These flowers aren't going to make it past next weekend. I have been pulling seeds off of them. The purple Elysium wasn't doing great in the small pot, but it'll hang on through the colder weather. I think these will hang on through the colder weather too, and there's one more in the garden I can put on this side. So yeah, that'll work. I didn't have to buy anything. I'm not shopping. Time, energy, wellness, I just can't seem to do shopping this year. So I'm using what I have. And then later when I'm at Home Depot or somewhere else, see if they got anything I can add to winter interest. I like it. Just using what I have and not having to do anything special. Not that I'm against doing something special. But I like it. I like being able to continue. And we don't have much of a fall. We have winter and summer. These I did not cut them back yet. I honestly could pot them in this beautiful pot, and I might, but I don't have anywhere to put it. And then next to that, I backed up and fell into this pot. I probably have dirt on my butt. But these are elephant ears that need to come out. They did not do wonderful in this pot. But they had babies. I might plant the babies and let the main plant die back. I have not done well in the house with these wintering in a pot with actual foliage. They always die back. But I might try it again anyway. Why not? This came from the lake house 2 years ago. Little sapling. I think it'll look really pretty right there in the middle for the winter. And the Alyssum will hold on. Johnny jump ups. I was hoping they would jump back up. And they might. They didn't like the heat. They didn't like the crowding. But let's see. They might come back. Isn't that beautiful? Needs another year, but that is beautiful. They put siding up and trampled my garden this year, which is fine. I mean, it needed to be done. And it did survive. I think next year it'll be something really special. I've been redoing this corner last year and this year. And some of the things I planted the year before didn't come back up. Still have to put up the gutters. I have a blue evergreen I think I'm going to pop in the ground right here on the corner. I think it's just screaming for something, and the blue evergreen, blue spruce, needs a home. I think it looked really super there. Kind of walked around all morning wondering where to put it. And where to put the Tropicanas. They actually do well in the cold. I mean, a heavy frost, a hard frost will kill it. And that's not what we have coming. If we have a breeze and it's 35, there's probably going to be a light frost next week. Pretty happy. Well, I think I like it because it's winter. It's winter interest. It's structure. It's something. I love working on winter interest because in the past I haven't had any really to speak of. If I did, it sure wasn't on purpose. It was just accidentally interesting in the winter, which still happens. I'm cool with that. Could open the greenhouse. We have one lovely pumpkin that needs to come out of the garden. I don't think I can lift it. I'll give it a try, but I don't think so. Boy, I feel the heat coming out of here. Good thing I remembered. Yeah, this garden's doing super. I did get my ginger out of the ground and into a pot. Bring it in later. Still just grabbing one or two things here and there when I have an empty hand. My hands are always full. See if I can lift this pumpkin. I had a hole to fill. Or rip those leaves off later. Things that I wintered last year are alive. These I pulled out in late fall and potted them up. These were potted up in late fall last year. I have another one over here that's buried that I saved last year. Now I pulled up a bunch of these. They were looking really good at the end of the season. The snapdragons. And I don't know, I just went nuts one day. Crazy, insane gardener that I am. I just hated to see everything go, so I started potting stuff up and putting it in the greenhouse and the stairway. overflow area. And I believe these are seeds from those. I don't think I bought any snapdragon seeds. So the snapdragons that I have came from last year's snapdragons. I have 2 more. Hold. These aren't snapdragons, but I wintered them last year. The begonias were the other thing. Snapdragons and begonias. And there was another flower that didn't do great. Did better outside than in the house. Begonia that came from last year's garden that I wintered. So I pulled up a lot. Some made it. Put my stuff away though on cruise here. Here's the blue spruce I want to pot up this week. Or I mean put in the ground. I've potted it up a couple times. Hi chickens! Hello! Hello everybody! So back in here are begonias that I wintered last year. You can't see them because everything's grown up around them. These are all gonna go soon when it frost hits. Look how beautiful though. Especially this corner. Wow. Beautiful. I've been cleaning this greenhouse out where I kept my extra pots, but I did find some. My goal is to completely clean this out and bring my seed trays out here clean and set up for sowing in like January, February. I have plant lights that'll fit the shelf because lighting's not really good January, February, March. It's still kind of dark and short days. So anyway, I do have some pots left out here. What is the right pot? These are not very big. I think clay would probably be the best bet. I do have some potting soil. So there we go. Bunch of babies. Salvia propagations. I don't know if they'll take. My first effort. This is the one I'm trying to propagate. I only have one. Didn't reseed as well as I would have liked. Look at here. Demandavilla. Has not bloomed in the house, but it is nice to have blooms from outside inside. The first one to come in was the shrimp plant, and it had a lot of flowers on it. It's been dropping flowers. So this is 2 of the 3 plants that were in that big water trough. So this is 2 of them. And then you've seen the tropical cannas, and then one of the other mandevilla is in the overflow with the pepper plant. Doesn't have a spot yet. I have dusted everything I brought in with diatomaceous earth. And I tried to, so the diatomaceous earth is just bottom growth in soil, and it works better when it's dry. So I don't water as often. So the diatomaceous earth doesn't work when it's wet, and I did have to water this today. But when it dries back out, I think that the diatomaceous earth will start working again, and I think that'll happen a few times before it quits working at all. But everything I brought in has diatomaceous earth in the soil. That way, if there's any pests in your plant that are laying eggs, it'll get the eggs as they're hatching. And I'll redo them too as time goes on. I'll freshen up the diatomaceous earth. You don't want to breathe this stuff because it is glass particles. So you don't want it in your lungs. I am careful when I use it. I keep this low as I'm shaking it. It's low. I keep my face away from it. I use this on my chickens. That's why I have it. I use it on their bedding. It does work for plants. So the life cycle of a aphid is short, or a spider mite, right? But then they lay eggs and the life cycle keeps continuing. So if there's anything on here, I want to kill them at the larva stage.